Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on my channel. As you can see, we're back again today with my 2007 Lincoln Town Car Signature Limited. And actually, as you can see, we got a different background today. I usually film at my house. Sorry, we're right by a road, so there's traffic going by. But I usually film at my house, but today I was on the way home from work and I thought I might as well stop at the park and film a video here instead to kind of give a different, more interesting background. I know you guys probably get tired of seeing my house since that's where I film all the videos. But anyways, today I'm going to be going over everything that I have liked or that I have loved about owning this car, and just like all the cool features that I've loved about it and why I would recommend this car to other people. So let's start with the obvious one. Number one is obviously going to be the looks for me. I know some people might call this an old man car and say, "Ew, why would you want to drive that? That's so big and it looks like something an old person would drive." Well, I don't think so. Well, it does look kind of elderly, I will give it that, but I don't think about it that way. I think about it as in this is a classic luxury car that they just don't make anymore. So I do really enjoy that part about this car. So yeah, that's the biggest thing for me, the looks. I love the kind of boxy styling. I love how big it is, how long it is. It feels like one of those classic 80s and 90s boats. I love the styling, how boxy it is with kind of the straight up and down headlights. And then the obvious thing is the hood ornament. That really just ties it all together for me. The hood ornament is something you just really don't see in cars today unless you buy like a really expensive Rolls-Royce or Mercedes-Benz Maybach. And I believe the Mercedes S-Class still has hood ornaments. But yeah, hood ornaments are definitely things you don't see on cars very much anymore, which is kind of a shame because they wouldn't be that expensive for manufacturers to put on, and it just really makes the car look a whole lot better. So yeah, number one for me is definitely going to be the looks. Number two for me, and like I said, I'm sorry about the traffic, we're right by a road, but number two for me is going to be the reliability of these cars. Let me get the hood popped. So obviously, if you guys know anything about these Panther platform vehicles, they have the legendary 4.6 liter V8 along with they're paired to I think it's a 4-speed automatic transmission. But yeah, these engines are just legendary for how reliable they are. I mean, these things will take you hundreds of thousands of miles. In fact, I've seen one on an auction website before with 800,000 miles on it. And granted, the body was terrible. I mean, the paint was all faded. It definitely isn't something you'd want to buy unless you were trying to actually restore something. But the fact that it made it 800,000 miles and it still ran and drove is a testament to how reliable these things are. So yeah, if you take care of them, change your oil regularly, all that stuff, and you don't drive it in a rust state so the body doesn't rust out, these things will take you forever, honestly. These engines are just really good. Honestly, it was one of the last good powertrains that Ford designed, I would say. They've designed a few good things, but honestly, after this car, they kind of went down the tubes as far as reliability. I would not buy a newer Ford because not only are their engines not reliable anymore, also they have a ton of electrical issues, the newer ones. So yeah, this was honestly kind of the last hurrah for Ford, one of the last good, reliable things they made. So yeah, number two that I really love about this car is going to be the reliability because yeah, this engine and powertrain in general is just awesome. So that's going to be number two. Number three for me, I'm going to move into the interior because number three is just going to be how comfortable this car is. And granted, my leather seats are kind of sunk in. This was something that was known for these cars, how the seats would kind of sink in, especially if a heavier person sat in them. So mine are kind of sunk like that. But honestly, I don't really mind. It makes it more comfortable because you just sink down into that soft leather seat. And it's just so smooth as you drive. It's just great. They really don't make cars like this anymore that are extremely comfortable and very nice to sit in. I mean, I can see why these cars were the favorite choice for limo companies and still are, because they're just so comfortable. In fact, that's an interesting note. I was just looking at some limo companies the other day, and actually some limo companies actually still use these cars as limousines and the L extended wheelbase cars, because they're just so reliable that they'll go for years and years. So despite the fact that they were discontinued almost 15 years ago, they're still using them because they keep on going and they're so comfortable. You might as well. So yeah, number 3 is going to be how comfortable the interior is, for sure. In fact, let me go sit in the back seat just to show you that, because you gotta sit in the back to really appreciate how comfortable. The front seats are comfortable too, but the back is where it's at. These cars were made not really for you to drive them, but for you to be chauffeured. The back seat, it's just, oh, that soft, squishy leather. It's just so nice back here. You just kind of sink into the seat and just relax. I really wish they made cars like this anymore. Nowadays, the thing is, everything has to be sporty nowadays. And that's another thing. While we're talking about the interior, let's talk about how nice the interior is. I love this wood trim on the dash. And since mine is a Signature Limited, which is one of the higher trims, I have the top half of the steering wheel as wood. In fact, that's actually real wood on the steering wheel. That stuff's obviously just fake painted plastic. But yeah, that'd be number 4 for me, is how nice, and classic the interior is. So you got obviously all your wood trim, which that's another thing. Nowadays, everything has to be sporty. So wood is rarely used in vehicles anymore. Now the new thing is carbon fiber, where everything has to be carbon fiber. And sometimes they even make fake carbon fiber, like that fake wood, because everything needs to look sporty and feel sporty. And that's the problem with seats nowadays too. They don't make these soft, squishy leather seats anymore that are just made for luxury and comfort. Nowadays, everything's got to be firm and tough and able to withstand taking corners at like 40 miles an hour. It's honestly kind of sad. I wish they made cars like this nowadays that were just focused on luxury and didn't worry about sportiness, because that's what this is. Despite the fact that it has a V8, it's not really geared towards sportiness. It's just more geared towards comfort and luxury, which I really like. So, and another thing, while we're on the nice part of the interior, the other thing I'd like to talk about is that right there. So the clock is another one of my favorite things when it comes to these cars. You don't see much cars anymore with analog clocks, and it's so nice to just have one in the car. It just adds such a nice touch. Plus it says Lincoln too, as you can see. Just a really nice touch to the interior. I really like it. Now, like I was saying, I have a more upper trim, the Signature Limited model. So that has the top half of the steering wheel is wood, real wood actually. But if you got more of like a base model, like just a Signature, or if you got the livery sedan executive, those would just have a full fabric steering wheel. They wouldn't have that wood. So don't be disappointed if yours doesn't have it. It's probably just more of a base model. If you really want a wood steering wheel though, you can always go to a junkyard and probably find a higher trim model with a wood steering wheel and swap it out. I've heard people have done that before, so they can have that, because that is a really nice touch. I'll give it that. So yeah, and mine isn't an L extended wheelbase one. If it was, you would have little visors here for the rear seat passengers. You would have a cigarette lighter in here instead of just an ashtray. And the Signature L actually had rear heated seats right there, so that was really nice as well. But yeah, number 3 is definitely going to be how comfortable this is, and number 4 is definitely going to be the interior. I really love this interior. With that said, let's get out of the car. Oh, and tying into what I said about the interior, these plates right here that say Lincoln are honestly one of my favorite things, because it just ties it all together super well, so you know you're getting into a Lincoln when you get in. It's honestly really nice. Number 5 reason of why I love this car is going to be the trunk. So obviously, since mine's a more upper trim Signature Limited, it's going to have a power trunk. Again, like I said, with the steering wheel, if you have a more base model executive or Signature, you're probably not going to have a power trunk, but that's okay. I really do like the power trunk, but that's not what number 5 is. Number 5 is how spacious this trunk is. I mean, you could fit 4 or 5 bodies in here if you were in the Mafia. That's probably why these cars were used by the Mafia a lot, because you could fit a ton of not just bodies, but also like tools and stuff like that in here. So yeah, it's really nice to have such a big trunk. I mean, you can haul a bunch of groceries or whatever the heck you want to. It's honestly really nice. That's just a jacket of mine up there. But yeah, that's a really nice addition. And then not all of them had this. It had to be ordered from the factory, I believe. But I do have the factory trunk organizer, which just opens up like that. I have some roadside service kits in there in case I ever needed them. Washer fluid and like a jump box over there. But yeah, actually, I was really lucky to get this because, as you know, I usually buy wrecked vehicles off of Insurance Auto Auctions, IAA, and then either me and my friend or our friend's shop fixes them up. So a lot of times you don't even get half the stuff that came in this from the factory, like an owner's manual. This car doesn't have an owner's manual because the previous owner probably took it out or something. But it's very nice to have this trunk organizer. I was honestly surprised it was in here, which I believe people have told me in my comments section before that this organizer probably didn't come in this car from the factory. They said this one was probably out of a 2003 because I guess that was the last year that the trunk was made with a gray color. And obviously my trunk is a black color, so the gray doesn't exactly match. But I honestly don't care. It's really nice because you can hide stuff like this out of sight so the trunk looks clean. And you just have somewhere to put all your stuff so it doesn't look cluttered all the time. So yeah, that's definitely going to be reason number 5. I love this spacious trunk. It's great, honestly, for hauling things and whatnot. And yes, I will be making a video on things I have not liked or enjoyed about this car, which obviously there's probably going to be a lot less things that I have not enjoyed. Again, sorry for the traffic noise. There's probably going to be a lot less things that I have not enjoyed because I really enjoy having this car. But yeah, so, and off the record, another thing I like is the fact that it has a sunroof. This isn't really on my list, but just off the record, because a lot of them actually didn't have a sunroof, which was weird because you'd think, oh, big luxury car, you would have a sunroof like as standard, right? No, because like I said, in the more base model trims like Executive and Signature, those obviously wouldn't have a sunroof. And then I believe 2007, which is the year mine was made, was the last year for a factory sunroof. I think after that, they didn't make sunroofs in these anymore. And the only way you would ever find a newer one than 2007 with a sunroof is if someone put it in aftermarket. So I think I got lucky and got one of the last ones made with a sunroof. Because, yeah, it's kind of rare to find them with a sunroof. But anyways, the last real thing on my list is, let me get inside. Well, another thing I really like is all the features this car has, which that kind of just ties into how much I like the interior. But, you know, since it's a Signature Limited, which is a more upper model, you got, well, all of them had power seats. That was just standard on town cars. But since it's a Signature Limited, you get memory seats here, and you also have heated seats, which is a nice touch. I really like that, especially when it's colder. You know, you got that. Heated seats over there, which is really nice. That kind of just ties into the interior, but yeah, I really like that. It's a very nice. But like I said, if you have a more base model trim, you probably wouldn't get those anyways. Another feature I like about the interior is these garage door buttons, which I actually use. I use one of these, I think, to open my garage door, which is nice because, well, I think it's the middle one I use. But yeah, you can program them to send a signal to your garage door opener, and it basically functions as a garage door remote. So instead of having to have a goofy looking remote clipped to your sun visor, you can just program one of the buttons, and there you go, which is honestly nice because we don't actually have an extra garage door opener. The other two are being used by other people that live at the house, so it's kind of nice to have this instead. And you got your visor, of course, with the light. That's good. And then probably I think it's number 6, because number 5 was the trunk. Number 6 of what I really like about this car is, I know it's going to sound stupid because it's a very small thing. I like the column shifter. Now, the reason for this is because column shifter is just my favorite type of shifter, no matter what vehicle it's in, because it's more entertaining to use than like a floor shifter or whatnot. But the other reason why I like it in this car is because it gives it a more open concept, because you have the bench seat here, which I got some stuff in there, but you got the bench seat here, so you don't really have a center console in the middle taking up space. It's just kind of open, which I do really like about this car. But the other reason is because you just don't see column shifters in cars anymore. The only things column shifters are in anymore is like trucks and a few big SUVs and stuff like that. But even those are starting to die off. They're starting to move to dial shifters and button shifters and stupid stuff like that. But yeah, you don't see these in cars anymore. And this is, again, kind of a throwback to those 80s and 90s luxury boats, because back in the day, almost all cars had a column shifter. In fact, back in the day, it was more rare to find a car with a floor shifter than it was to find one with a column shifter. It was just more standard to have a column shifter, even over a floor shifter. So it's kind of a throwback to that, honestly. And it gives you the ability to seat 3 people in the front if you really needed to. So I really like that. Let me grab the keys and we can start it up to end off the video. Go. Got the start up there. She at 135,002 miles. So yeah, I do like the column shifter. It's honestly a really nice design. Honestly, I do really like it. But yeah, those are the 6 things that I have really enjoyed about owning this vehicle. And I've only owned it 3,000 miles, but I can tell you, as of now, this is probably one of the biggest things I enjoy about owning this vehicle. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and like this video. And like I said, pretty soon I'll be making a video of a couple things I don't like about this car. I haven't liked about owning it. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.